I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carry. Post. Colors.
Order, armed. Our invocation today is by Rabbi Mark Shook. Mark Shook is a rabbi with Temple Israel in Creve Coeur. Rabbi Shook also serves as chaplain with the St. Louis County and Creve Coeur Police Departments. Rabbi Shook is the father-in-law of David Lowery, son of Robert Lowery.
Let us pray. Eternal God, creator of all humanity, we are joined today in a special celebration, and we ask for your blessings. We celebrate a life dedicated to public service. May you bless Bob Lowery and all his loved ones with continued health and strength. We celebrate, with his name affixed to this building, a life capable of inspiring new generations with a sense of civic pride and duty. May you bless all who serve this community now and in the future with the same high level of integrity and devotion to justice for all. We celebrate the dedicated men and women of this department who serve in the cause of public safety. May you bless and protect them, keeping them from harm in the course of their duties and returning them safely to their loved ones. We celebrate our rights and liberties as citizens of the United States of America. May you bless us with the will and sense of purpose never to take our freedom for granted, inspiring us, as you inspired Bob Lowery, to always answer the call for service to our community. And we say, Amen.
I want to welcome all of you today. We have a tremendous array of speakers that come to pay tribute to Mayor Lowery. And before we begin, I just want to say a few words about what today is. We come here as a day of celebration, but it's also a day of reflection. And what I mean by reflection is we look back on the history and tradition of the city of Florissant. I think if we don't reflect on the history and tradition, sometimes we just have a house and we don't have a home. History and tradition are very, very important. We have to look back, we have to look where we are, and we also have to look to the future. Mayor Lowery, former Chief Lowery, has always been a man that has really reflected on what has been done, what he has to do, and what he was going to do. And again, I repeat, this is a day of celebration, but also a day of reflection. Our first speaker, Chief Timothy Lowery. Chief Timothy Lowery has served as the police chief of the Florissant Police Department since January 1st, 2013. Chief Lowery began his career with the Florissant Police Department in 1989 after working at the St. Louis County Police Department for 4 years. Prior to being appointed police chief, Chief Lowery held every rank within the police department. Chief Lowery is a member of several law enforcement and civic boards and organizations. Chief Lowery is on the executive board of directors for the Major Case Squad of Greater St. Louis. Chief Lowery.
Thank you very much for that very warm welcome. What a beautiful day it is today. I'll tell you, I was been worried very much all week about the weather, the rain coming in, cold, but I think that my father must have knocked this one out of the park too, because what a beautiful day. I'd like to welcome everybody on this very special day in the city of Florissant to honor my father, Robert Lowery. I promise I'll be very brief, because I'm going to be followed by a group of professional politicians and who really enjoy speaking, so it could be a long program. Just kidding. I really appreciate these men and women being here today and sharing their thoughts from the podium on this very special day for my father. I will save their introductions to Mr. Tucci, who will introduce them at a later time. Right now, I'd like to introduce my family. First, my wife, Lori, and my son, Brian. Thank you. My sister, Kim Burns, and her husband, Sean, and their son, Brendan, who we're going to hear from here in a little while. And I've got my sister, Kathy, and my nephew, Joey. My brother, David, wife, Amy, and then these two guys, Max and Sam. They're the absolute character of this entire family, I'll tell you that. In addition, there's several of my aunts, uncles, and cousins from both the Lowery and the Zaremski family, and we really do appreciate you guys coming and spending this day with us. Of course, the most important person in our family is our mother, Carol. Sorry, Dad, but we'll talk about you in a minute. I know that we're all in agreement that she was the glue that kept the family together. Dad was a very busy man with his duties here at the police department, the Major K Squad, and he was involved in so many civic activities. Mom was the one that kept the family intact. Of course, I am a little slanted in this opinion, but I think together they did a great job raising a very successful family, including as a business executive, a marketing director, an FBI agent, the director of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and a police chief. Not so bad on a policeman's salary. I think they did great. Which brings me to another point. Unfortunately, my brother Bob and his family were unable to make it today, but they are definitely here with us. And before I continue any further, I want to bring my nephew, Brendan Burns, up here. He wants to share a few thoughts about his grandpa.
My grandpa is a good man. He was good at protecting our city from crime and then became mayor. His hard work and dedication helped to make Florissant a great place to live. He inspires me to work hard and achieve my goals in life. Grandpa is my superhero. This is what I like about my grandpa. Congratulations, Grandpa. I love you.
Wow, how do I follow that? That's very good. Good job, Brendan. I do have several groups of people in the audience today that I'd like to thank for being here. First, I'd like to introduce the elected officials of the City of Florissant. I'd like to introduce each and every one of them and have them stand and be recognized. First, Thomas P. Schneider, our mayor in the City of Florissant. Who we will hear from later, and I'll tell you this, the mayor has actually been the driving force to get this done here today. 3 years ago when he took over mayor, he and I had talked about this, and this is something that he wanted to do, and we finally got it done, and Mayor, I appreciate that all the hard work and effort that you did to get putting this together. Mr. Tim Lee, Councilman Ward 1. Mr. Tim Jones, Councilman Ward 2. Mr. Jeff Caputa, Councilman Ward 4. Keith Shildroth, who we're going to hear from later, is our council president, right behind me. Mr. Gerard Hinkey, Ward 6. Mrs. Jackie Pagano, Ward 7. Mr. Mark Schmidt, Ward 8. Mr. Joe Egan, Ward 3, and Mr. Ben Hernandez, Ward 9, were unable to attend today. Mayor Snyder and the entire City Council passed the ordinance that allowed this building to be dedicated in honor of my father, and will, after today, be known as the Robert G. Lowery Sr. Law Enforcement Center. Thank you very much. I do want to point out something else. On Monday night, the City Council and the Mayor presented me with a proclamation which designated this week as Law Enforcement Week here in the City of Florissant. Of course, this is being celebrated nationwide in its honor of our fallen officers and this National Police Week. And we do have 3 police officers that did give the ultimate sacrifice here in the City of Florissant. And there's a memorial inside the building, and that's Officer Marion Reef, Lieutenant Jay Noser, and Officer Glenn Furnow. And they're recognized inside our building, and they're also recognized in Washington, D.C. with the National Law Enforcement Memorial. Thank you very much for the proclamation. Is Dan Boyle here, our municipal judge? Judge Boyle, our municipal judge, is right here. Thank you, Dan, for showing up. Thank you. We also have another judge here, Judge Gary Gantner, the U.S. Court of Appeals, is somewhere in the crowd, right over there. Thank you. And then I really want to thank Todd Schmidt, our Director of Parks, Lou Gerald, our Director of Public Works, and their staffs for assisting my staff, led by Captain Randy Bowden, for all their hard work and effort to make this day successful. They've done a great job, and I really appreciate everything they've done. Thank you, gentlemen. Also in attendance today are members of the St. Louis Area Police Chiefs Association and the North County Police Chiefs Association. I really appreciate your attendance. It means a lot to me and my father. Thank you. And I know I have several members of the Greater St. Louis Major Case Squad, including Lieutenant Bill Baker, who's our Executive Director, and anyone who knows my father knows how important that the Major Case Squad has been to him. He was a founding member of the squad, and today he still serves on the Board of Directors. That's one of, I think, my father's greatest accomplishments is the Greater St. Louis Major Case Squad. He worked so hard with that. In addition, I'd like to thank members of the following groups that I know are here today: North County Labor, the Florissant Elks, North County Incorporated, the Great North County Chamber of Commerce, the Florissant Rotary, and the Crusade Against Crime members. If I've missed someone, it was not intentional. I do appreciate everybody's support today. I also know that we have several veterans groups here today, and I would like to invite all the veterans and current service members to stand up and be recognized. Thank you very much for your service. I'd like to thank Fire Chief Scott Seppel with the Florissant Valley Fire Protection District, and thank you, and all of his firemen for being here today, participating in both our open house and our dedication ceremony. Thank you very much. It couldn't have been done without your guys' efforts. Thank you. I don't want to forget Chief Mike Gantner with the Blackjack Fire Protection District, who I know is here today also. Thank you, Mike. Also in attendance, there are numerous members of the Florissant Police Department, both current and retired. I thank all of you for being here today. It means a lot to me and my father that you guys would be here. The Florissant Police Department is comprised of 116 employees, of which 91 are sworn police officers. These men and women are very loyal and dedicated to keeping this city safe for our residents, business owners, and visitors. As a police chief, my strength is measured by the people around me, and I truly believe that I command the best police department in the St. Louis area because of these men and women. At this time, I'd like to introduce my command staff. Lieutenant Tim Foddy, he's standing in the back. Lieutenant Vince Godfrey. Lieutenant Dan Bierman. Two of my captains are here today. Captain Sean Fagan is away at his son's graduation, but I have Captain Randy Bowden here with me today, as you guys have already seen, and then Captain Tim Fagan. Now I want to give you a little history lesson about the Florissant Police Department. It won't take long. In the history of the Florissant Police Department, there's been 13 police chiefs representing the city of Florissant. My father was appointed chief in 1979 as the 10th police chief by the Honorable Mayor James J. Egan, and served 22 years as police chief prior to being elected mayor in 2001. I am the 13th police chief of the city of Florissant, appointed on January 1st, 2013 by the Honorable Mayor Thomas P. Schneider, and I'm hoping to surpass my father's 22 years. In the history of the department, we are the only father-son combination to serve as the chief of police. I'll tell you, it's a great honor and a privilege to wear this chief's badge that was worn so proudly by my father. However, I must admit, it's not been an easy job following such an icon of law enforcement. Believe me, the expectations are extremely high, and there's always plenty of advice. In between our terms, we're two very good friends of the Lowery family. Chief Steve Cruz, who served the department for a year and a half, and he's currently the police chief in Maplewood, and Chief Bill Carabas, who served for 10 years. I believe both of these men are in attendance tonight, and I'd like them to stand and be recognized. In 1979, Chief Robert Lowery began the campaign to move the Occoquan Police Department from the location on St. Francis Street to where it stands today. This was made possible through the Fight Crime for a Dime Committee, who campaigned to pass a bond issue to raise funds for the building construction. With the funding, with funding from the bonds, the construction of this building was completed in 1982. And I don't know how many people remember the Fight Crime for a Dime signs that I think were just about in every yard in the city of Florissant. It overwhelmingly passed, and I know that's something that my father's always been very proud of. And I'll tell you, the building is wonderful. I hope a lot of you had the opportunity to take a tour today. I mean, it's definitely a very workable building still today. But today we're here to dedicate the Florissant Police Department as it stands in honor of his 50 years of service and leadership to our community. A large portion of these years he served as police chief and lastly as mayor. Today, at the conclusion of today's program, the Florissant Police Department will be known as the Robert G. Lowery Sr. Law Enforcement Center. Thank you for your time and attention. I want to turn the program back over to Mr. Tucci. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Well, Chief Lowery was Chief of Florissant. He had to work very closely with the chief of the Hazelwood Police Department, and they became very, very close friends, and they worked hand in glove, and it was just a credit to both cities with the support that they gave each other and how they helped each other make each other's department tremendous departments. Chief Carl Wolf is a retired longtime police chief of the city of Hazelwood and is a very close personal friend of Mayor Lowery's.
Thank you, Mr. Tucci. Tim had called me yesterday and asked if I would do this, and I was really honored that he would do that. I was going to go over all of Bob's law enforcement accolades and what he belonged to, but it's in front of you in the program. But there's a couple things that you may not know what he has done in law enforcement, and a lot of the current police officers don't realize this either. But Bob was the motivator and the innovator behind the St. Louis Area Police Chiefs Memorial Prayer Breakfast. And without him, we probably never would have had that thing, and we just had our most recent 26th Law Enforcement Memorial Breakfast, where we recognize those officers who have given the ultimate sacrifice. Bob also was the person behind racial profiling legislation that was filed a number of years ago. And the legislature had told us that they felt there was a problem, and society was telling us there was a problem, and we need to correct it. And Bob took the bull by the horns, and he enticed me to help him. But we worked with the Black Caucus, and we worked with now Representative Lacey Clay, who was a state senator back then, and we have the racial profiling bill passed, and it still stands today and does a great job. Bob was, you saw on there, he was on the executive committee of the International Association of Chiefs of Police. And in 1985, Bob ran for 6th vice president in Houston. Sadly, he lost that. It was a very close election, and he was in a runoff. But the unique thing, the person that beat him within a year lost his job because of sexual harassment. So that's the biggest mistake that the international law enforcement community made, was not electing Bob as the 6th vice president and letting him go up through the ranks. Bob and I's career is kind of went together. I was in law enforcement for 42 years. He was in law enforcement for 41 years, but then it went on to jump in the political arena. I was police chief for 35 years in 3 different towns. I couldn't keep a job. He was the police chief for 22 years in one town. He was really my mentor, even though we kind of went hand in hand. I knew any time that there was an issue, I could get on the phone and call Bob, and he would give me the right things to say. Sometimes he called me on the phone when I didn't know that I had an issue, and anytime that I answered the phone, and I apologized to the clergy and the ladies in the audience and the young kids, but the first thing out of Bob's mouth was, "Well, I'm going to save your ass again." So, Bob, I really appreciate that, and it let me have a long law enforcement career and a long career in Hazelwood. You know, I can't think of anything more appropriate than this police department being named after Bob Lowery. It's very fitting. I have never seen a man more committed to law enforcement, more committed to North St. Louis County, and more committed to St. Louis County than Bob Lowery. I have never seen anybody more committed than that. Bob was unique. He was the chair of the Missouri Police Chiefs Legislative Committee for years. And when he finished, I took over that position, but I learned a lot from him. Bob had the knack of very eloquently telling the legislatures that they was full of it without them knowing that he was telling them that. And I learned a lot from him for that. You know, he always started out with due respect, Senator, or with due respect, Representative, and then he would go on and state the very essential things that we needed to get legislation passed for law enforcement. With that, Bob, congratulations on this. 50 years serving the public is a great accomplishment, and I'm very, very proud to be here today and help honor you.
Thank you, Chief Wolf. Next gentleman to pay tribute to Mayor Lowery, Charlie Dooley. Charlie Dooley has been the St. Louis County Executive since 2003. Prior to serving as County Executive, Mr. Dooley was St. Louis County Councilman and the Mayor of Northwoods. My good friend, Charlie Dooley.
Let me say good afternoon to you all. I'm extremely happy to be here. To my good friend, Bob Lowery. Okay, now, Carol, we all have you in our prayers, okay? I don't know anybody can out-talk the former mayor of Florissant, Bob Lowery. Nobody can. And I think we all, at one time or another, I got a 9 or a 10 o'clock call at night. It's something that was on his mind, and he had to tell you. Bob, you're a great community person. You give back to this community. And Kim, you're right. And former police chief, you're right. You can ask for a more dedicated person for the North County or for Florissant than anybody. This man has given his life to this community, and it shows. And now he's serving on the ZMD board, and he actually brought some sense to that board. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate that. Let me read this proclamation. Whereas Mayor Robert G. Lowery has been a public servant to the City of Florissant for more than 40 years, including being the mayor for 13 years. Whereas Mayor Lowery recognized that in order to keep a community thriving, one must have a balance of quality affordable homes with top commercial businesses integrated throughout the area. Therefore, he has worked with many commercial and residential developers to do so. Whereas Mayor Lowery values the elderly in the community as much as the youth, and has shown by creating successful programs tailored specifically for benefit each group. Whereas Mayor Lowery also promotes the business community in Florissant, but also keeps the jewels of the city thriving, and does so by promoting outdoor recreation and environmental awareness. Whereas in honor of his velocity, the Florissant Police Department is being renamed to Robert G. Lowery Justice Center. Now therefore I, Charlie A. Dooley, County Executive of St. Louis County, Missouri, do hereby proclaim Saturday, May the 17th, 2014 as Mayor Robert G. Lowery Senior Day in St. Louis County. Congratulations, Mayor. what we call a photo op. Come on, take a photo op. How many times you done this before? Yeah.
Thanks, Charlie. Michael Mara. Michael Mara is the 4th District Councilman for St. Louis County. Mr. O'Mara grew up in Florissant, where he continues to reside with his wife Carol and children James and Maddie. And I must mention that this year, Michael Mara is being inducted into the St. Louis Soccer Hall of Fame. I had to put that plug in there. Michael Mara.
I'll make sure I hit the pasta house again this week for you then. Thank you. Well, congratulations to Bob and Carol's family and the City of Florissant, their police department. City of Florissant is the heart of North County, and due to their fine men and women of the police force, dedication of the Lowery family, North County, out of the 1st precinct, we're at our all-time low in crime since 1969. So congratulations to your department for helping North County. I go back a little bit with the Lowery family. It'll be 30 years this June. Bob's daughter Kathy was in my wedding, and so we go back. You talk about Bob as a dedicated police officer and mayor. He's also a dedicated family man. And with that, I want to congratulate the Lowery family for their dedication and years of service. You've got a great department here, men and women, and you ought to be proud of it. Be proud of being part of North County, because we do have a great community here and good leaders. So with that, congratulations to the Lowery family on this great fine day and good weather. And we wish you well, Bob. Many more years of dedication to not only Florissant, but North County area, and what you've done for everybody here in the community. Once again, thanks a lot. Steve Stanger will be giving a resolution here in a little bit from St. Louis County. And once again, congratulations to the Lowery family on a great day here. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. We're up here in North County, and now we're going to reach out to South County. Steve Stanger. Steve Stanger is the 6th District Councilman of St. Louis County. He serves on several committees on the St. Louis County Council. Steve Stanger.
See that Mayor Lowery even reaches out to South County, huh? I'm here as a friend of Mayor Lowery and also as a representative of St. Louis County, and it is truly an honor to be here to celebrate, really, to celebrate and recognize a life of public service. And even from South County, we can see, and I've spent a lot of time in North County, and I can see that Mayor Lowery has truly transformed Florissant and North County through his lifetime of service and his family's service. So we thought it very fitting and richly deserved to pass a resolution in the St. Louis County Council, and we've done that. And in recognition of a lifetime of public service from Mayor Lowery, I'd like to present this to you.
Thanks, Steve. Now I have the pleasure to introduce my good friend, Bob McCullough. He served as a prosecuting attorney for St. Louis County since 1991, and Bob is a great friend of law enforcement. Everybody knows that, and he's a tremendous advocate for victims' rights. Bob McCullough.
And normally I would start this off with a little joke or two, something like, "Thanks, Chief Tim Lowery, for keeping your speech as short as you did." Believe it or not, that actually was the least amount of time any Chief Lowery has ever spent in front of a mic. Well, this is such a solemn occasion, I'm not going to tell any jokes. I'm just going to extend my appreciation to all that Chief Lowery has done over the years. You know, I've been the prosecutor for a long time. I was an assistant for a long time before that, and I worked a great deal with the Florissant Police Department. And although I had very little interaction as an assistant with the chief, you know that from the top is what you get as you're working your way up. And so the guys who are out on the street are a reflection of what goes on inside this building or inside the old building before. And so we know what a great job the chief has done over the years as the Florissant Police Department. So it's not only, it was a great honor to work with the department, even in very recent times, as recently as a month or so ago, and they still do a phenomenal job on investigations as they come through, and they come through the office and through the court system. So, Chief, it's not only a great honor for the building to be named after you, but it's a well-deserved honor. I don't think anyone can doubt your dedication to the people of Florissant and to law enforcement in general. And I don't have a proclamation, but I do have a cheap pair of sunglasses. I'd be more than happy to give.
Thanks, Bob. Now we get to have I was going to say a change of pace, but we got Sharon Pace coming up later. But we do have our first woman to pay tribute, Margot McNeil. Margot McNeil has served as state representative for the 69th district since 2008. Representative McNeil's district covers parts of Florissant, Hazelwood, Bridgeton, and Representative McNeil has served as a teacher with the Ferguson-Florissant School District for over 20 years. Representative Margot McNeil.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here, and Representative Pace.
Oh, good afternoon. Can't speak too much, but it's a joy to be here, and we know this is well-deserving. Thank you.
We are here. First of all, I want to thank all of you for attending. It is really heartwarming to see the leaders of St. Louis County here with us today to celebrate this very important event. Also, it shows you the real community that Florissant and the North County area have, and a lot of that is a result of the leadership of Police Chief Lowery, Mayor Lowery, and all the work that has been, the groundwork that has been laid. I also want to thank our those in law enforcement who are here today. You are the ones that make this community one of the safest communities in the entire region, and we are very proud of you for all that you do. We are here today to honor Robert G. Lowery Sr. for his tremendous public service. Representative Pace and I have a resolution that from the Missouri House of Representatives. It has the information that you've heard on many of the other resolutions about Mayor Lowery's beginnings in 1961 as a probationary patrolman, going up to his being chief of police in 1979, also being mayor of the City of Florissant. So I won't read the resolution for you. It is signed by Speaker of the House, Tim Jones, Representative Pace, and myself, and it is truly a great honor to do so.
I was supposed to introduce Sharon Pace, but she came up with Margot McNeil, but I want to say something about Representative Pace. She served as state representative for the 74th District since 2008, and previously she served as the alderwoman for the City of Northwoods, and that was for 9 years, and you tried to take my thunder away from me. Oh, she can't speak, okay. Our next gentleman to pay tribute is your councilman, Keith Children. He represents the residents of the 5th Ward on the Florissant City Council. Mr. Childers is currently serving as the Florissant City Council President. Mr. Childers belongs to several Florissant area associations and groups, and he's the one that asked me to speak here today. Keith Children.
Thank you, Kim. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, elected officials, and honored guests. On behalf of the Florissant City Council, I'd like to thank you for attending this historic ceremony today. The combination of policeman and politician is unique. Fortunately for the city of Florissant and its residents over the past 50 years, Robert Lowery dedicated his career to protecting the city as a law enforcement official and later as mayor. The Florissant City Council would like to thank Robert Lowery for his many years of service and to congratulate him on the renaming of this facility today in his name, the building he helped originally construct. We would also like to thank the entire Lowery family for allowing him to serve and protect not only Florissant, but the entire region with his work on the Major K Squad. Congratulations, Bob, on this honor. Thank you.
I'd like to invite Keith to read the joint resolution that we passed.
This is from the Office of the Mayor of the City of Florissant, whereas Robert G. Lowery Sr. began working for the City of Florissant Police Department in 1961 at the age of 21 as a probationary patrolman, and in 1963 was appointed as the first detective in the City of Florissant and formed the Detective Bureau. And whereas Robert G. Lowery Sr. was promoted through the ranks of corporal, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, and major, and in 1975 he was appointed chief of police, always dedicated to the safety of the people of the city of Florissant. And whereas Robert G. Lowery Sr. was elected mayor of the city of Florissant in February of 2001 and worked tirelessly for progress and beautification of the city of Florissant through economic development, recreation facility upgrades, beautification projects, annexations, and enhanced residential programs. And whereas Robert G. Lowery Sr. has given the city of Florissant and the greater metropolitan area 50 years of dedicated service. And finally, whereas Robert G. Lowery Sr. continues to stay active wherever he serves on the board of directors for TEAM, the Metropolitan Zoological Park and Museum Board, St. Ferdinand Shrine, Florissant Elks Lodge, Lindenwood University, members of the Knights of Columbus, and president of the Crusade Against Crime of America.
Our next speaker reminded me, he said, I don't want to really talk about how old you are, Mr. Tucci, but you taught my wife in high school. And she's sitting right there. I taught her speech at DeAndre's High School. Oh, mercy, that goes way back. It was further than that. I'm going to be 80 in 7 years. Tom Schneider. Mayor Tom Schneider has been the mayor of the city of Florissant since April of 2011. Prior to being elected mayor, he served as a city councilman for 32 years. And I mentioned earlier, I think he had 12 elections in that time up to now. Prior to serving on the city council, Mayor Schneider was employed by the city of Florissant as a city engineer. Mayor Schneider was on the city council when this building was built. Mayor Schneider.
Thank you, Kim. Before I get started, I wondered if everybody would rise to your feet and join me in a standing ovation for all the emergency responders, all the police and firefighters that are here today. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your service to the community. Thank you for going in harm's way for us. Before I get started with my remarks, I want to do something in behalf of the employees of the City of Florissant. And I'd like to direct your attention to a newly planted tree over in the landscaped area over here, and there's a plaque in front of that tree, and that is presented to the mayor, Mayor Lowery, former Chief Lowery, in appreciation for 50 years of service, 1961-2011, Mayor Robert G. Lowery, presented by the City of Florissant employees. Bob Lowery and I served together as fellow employees for a short while. Mayor Egan hired me in 1976, and at that time Bob Lowery was a member of the Florissant Police Force, and we got to know each other, and I looked up to him and I respected his service. And then I left the city shortly, and I returned as a councilman. I got elected in 1979, and in that same year Mayor Egan appointed Bob Lowery to be Chief of Police. So pretty much the whole time, except for a few months that I was on the city council, Bob Lowery was either our chief of police or our mayor. He became, we were always friends, but he became like a big brother and a mentor to me in many ways. I always looked up to him, and I was one of the first ones, I believe I was one of the first ones when Mayor Egan passed away. I know that I wasn't the only one, but I was one of the first ones to ask Bob Lowery to run for mayor, and I'm so glad that he did. You know, I want to tell you something about the mayor's office that I inherited. The stuff on the shelves and on the wall are mine, but the desk was Mayor Egan's, and all the rest of the furniture, the carpet and the wall coverings, are Mayor Lowery's. Now, I intentionally left it this way to remind me of how big the shoes are that I have to fill. Robert Lowery has served as Florissant mayor and police chief, but that's just the beginning of the story. Bob has been working hard to make this a better and safer community since he was 16 years old. He's still serving our community as Mayor Emeritus, as a member of the Knights of the Rotary, Old St. Ferdinand Shrine, Old Town Partners, the Elks, as an honorary member of the Korean War veterans and other veterans organizations and others. He's contributed to the success of countless service and charity organizations, resulting in thousands of acts of charity, blessing the lives of so many everyday people. No one has ever loved the people of the city of Florissant more abundantly and unselfishly than Bob Lowery. But his love reaches beyond our city limits. He's currently serving on the prestigious Zoo and Museum Board. He's one of the founders and served as commander of the Major K Squad. He's the driving force behind the annual Medal of Valor ceremony to honor police and fighters and citizens who risk their lives to uphold the law and protect us from criminals. He supports many charities and causes outside of Florissant and greater metropolitan area, state of Missouri, the nation, and the world. Bob has never said no to anyone who asked for his help, and that trait added to the challenges he faced in the mayor's office. All mayors hate it when we have to say no sometimes. And the fact that Bob he loves almost everybody so much is another thing that adds to his challenges. You know how we're all guilty of acting a little differently around those that we love? Well, think how that would work for you if, in your case, if you loved almost everybody. Now, I said he liked almost everybody, but he did not like criminals, he did not like smart alecks, he did not like Mickey Mouse games or anyone who disrespected him. His good friend and former police officer and councilman, and now newspaper editor, Tony Brockmeyer, who is here, tells a story about a time when Florissant had rougher edges. It seems that Mayor Egan inherited some colorful Las Vegas-style nightlife, and it fell upon Detective Lowery to clean it up. He would send a couple officers to enter the back of the bar while he entered the front. Now, one joint had a piano player who played Mickey Mouse each time the police officers came in, which irritated Bob to no end. And on the third visit, Detective Lowery reached across the piano, grabbed the guy's lapel, pulled him over the piano, and asked him, "Are you playing Mickey Mouse in an attempt to embarrass my police officers?" Which the piano player denied, but Tony says that he never played Mickey Mouse anymore after that. You know what, Bob is still dealing with Mickey Mouse stuff. He still hates it, and I appreciate his help. Thanks a lot, Bob.
Thank you, Mayor. I've known Chief Lowery, Mayor Lowery, for almost 40 years. It was almost 40 years ago we opened a restaurant just catty corner from here at Flo Lynn Corners, and it was a good restaurant for us, but we moved to the clock tower there. It's not in Florissant, unincorporated area, but we had to find a bigger location, and we still support all your support. Anyway, my father was a police officer, and he was the first sergeant on the SWAT team in the city. And I think because of that, I had a certain affinity toward Chief Lowery. I always enjoyed talking with him. But one thing I remember, most importantly, is that when he became the mayor, he was so proud of the economic development that was taking place in Florissant. And I've spoken to him a number of times, and every time I talk to him, the number kept rising about how many new businesses were coming to the city of Florissant. And I think he should be applauded for that. Bob Lowery loves the city of Florissant. He served her in ways that are too numerous to count. You heard all these accolades today, but the way he served the city has been unbelievable. Networking and serving with the Chamber, the JCs, the Rotary, the Optimists, veterans groups, Boy and Girl Scouts, churches, many service organizations and charities to help make a strong and caring community. He received many awards and recognitions locally, including those from the many grateful organizations he supported, regionally from several archbishops, governors, and other mayors, nationally from presidents and FBI directors, and internationally even from Pope John Paul II. Bob Lowery and his family are an extension of the city of Florissant, and the city of Florissant is an extension of his family. It's just unbelievable when you look back and to see his label on so many things that have taken place here, positive things that have taken place here in the city of Florissant. He is a true treasure of this city. Mayor Bob Lowery.
Thank you very much. I appreciate each and every one of you being here today in this great honor that I'm receiving today because of the actions of the City Council, and I thank each member of the City Council that voted for the resolution to name this police headquarters. I think it was unanimous, so I really, really appreciate it, and God bless each and every one of you. And I thank the mayor for he being a part of naming this building after me. I wanted to tell you just a little bit of history about myself. You heard a little bit about, but I actually, you're not going to believe it, I started law enforcement when I was 15 years old. And I was put to work in the St. Louis Police Department as a telephone operator. That meant that I operated the call boxes in the city of St. Louis. And a lot of you don't know what that means, but there were walking policemen in the city of St. Louis, and I would answer their calls. They would call in on the hour, the 15, the 30, and the 45. And then I would have to mark up and give them assignments because they did not have radios or radio cars, but the walking men had no radios. So you'd think it was tough then to be a policeman now, but it was exceptionally tough to be out there without a radio. So I just want to let you know that. And I stayed there, and then I finally wound up in the Secret Service Division as a young man, and then I came here to the city of Florissant with Sergeant Tom Walsh, a detective sergeant from the city of St. Louis. I came with him, and he was the chief of police prior to me becoming the chief. And I also wanted to just tell you something about the city of Florissant. When they say that I love the city of Florissant, I mean that very, very sincerely. I've always said that, and a lot of people don't believe me, but I love the city of Florissant, and I love the people in the city of Florissant, meeting each and every one of you that are here now and have been here. This is a wonderful and great city, and it will only prosper because of cooperation that you extend to the elected officials and the appointed officials, like the chief of police and the other department heads. We pride ourselves on being one of the safest cities in America. We're still holding that distinction. We're still holding the distinction of being there on any call in 3 minutes. I insisted on that when I was a chief of police and I was a mayor, that when you call the police, there would be a police car at your house or your business in 3 minutes. If you weren't there, I would look at the call logs and find out why they did not get there in 3 minutes. On emergencies, we would try to be there in less than 3 minutes so that we could service you and save your life. So all of those things, and we implemented a lot here. We were first police department in the Midwest, and probably one of the very first in the United States to have global positioning. That's very well known now, but at the time that we implemented, it was not very well known. So this police department was another first in having global positioning for the police cars so we could dispatch them. They said it would be a problem because a police officer would think we were spying on them, and we were not. We were actually trying to send the closest car, and now with the implementation of global positioning, we were getting a car there in not minutes, we were getting there in seconds because we would send a traffic car or any car that was closest to your location instead of waiting for the beat car. So we upped the response time again. So these are just a few of the things that we did in the city of Florissant, but I want to tell you, when it came to building this building, of course it was built with all union labor, and I would have it no other way because the unions are a big part of the city of Florissant, they're a big part of our community at large and this nation. They have set the pace for salaries and things of that nature. But 1982, when we built this building, we had a major campaign, and I had to go out for funds in order to wage a campaign to increase the taxes, and those were not good years. They were very lean years as far as the public was concerned in giving out money, especially for any taxes. So we worked very hard. We rang doorbells. Yes, we put these signs on every lawn that would take them, and I think we had them on 2/3 of the houses in the city of Florissant. We needed 2/3 of the vote, and we got it. And I want to thank each and every one of you that were here then and voted for it. And I just want to take the opportunity to bring up someone. See, I'm not going to talk as long as you thought I was. So I'm going to frighten you a little bit here, even the prosecutor, the prosecuting attorney. I'm not going to talk too long today because there's one thing you learn with age, you got to mellow a little bit. But if there's one thing that I do not like retirement. So I just want all of you to know that. But I'd like to call the person that's been at my side for better than 50 years, my wife, Carol. Thank you. That's the first time she's kissed me in a month. Thank you, babe. I appreciate it. She actually raised our 5 babies, as most of you know, and she did an exceptionally good job. But it seemed like that she said that she was pregnant all the time, and I don't really understand it. We had 4 children right away, and then along came, we waited about 10 years or more, and then finally another boy came along, David, who's now an FBI agent here today. So I'm very, very proud of all 5 of my children. I'm very proud of you, and I want to say thanks to the Florissant Valley Fire Protection District for being here, and the Blackjack, the Highway Patrol, and all of you from the Florissant Police Department. I'm going to leave on a note that I had a very good friend that served with me in the Detective Bureau. I was a chief of detectives for many more years than I was as the police chief. And I was called to Washington to come up there with 30 other people to even then listen to a presentation about terrorism for a 3-day symposium at the FBI National Academy. So I accepted the distinct honor, and I went up there. Before I went, I always remember this, that I had a detective sergeant by the name of Jay Noser that you heard about before. And I feel a little bad about this because I brought him up on a day watch. He was working evenings, and I had him acting as in my place. And down here at Patterson in 67, there was a Northwest Savings and Loan. And the day I was gone, the first day I was gone, it was held up. Jay Noser was one of the police officers that responded to that in plain clothes. And he chased them with the other police cars all the way out to 367 When they got on 367, they made a left turn, and the guy was an escapee from Reserve State Penitentiary, as people like Gene Billicky will remember. And he got out and he shot the windshield of Lieutenant Noser's car, and he shot him across the chest. And then he come up to the car and put more into Jay, and he shot him 22 times. And Jay got on the radio, and it was a sad moment when he called into the dispatcher. He only could talk about his wife, to tell my wife I love her, and that this is my last moment, that I am dying. And he didn't die at that time. We took him to Christian Hospital Northeast, and he was attended to by a physician there that stayed along as his friend. And Jay recovered for some 20-something years, and then later died at the Lake of the Ozarks, still from his wounds. So I always remember Jay as being my partner and my friend, and a man that I lost because I was gone and he had to take my place. So with that, I'd like to say thanks to each and every one of you again, and may God bless you and your family, and thanks for this great, great honor. It'll be held in our family for so long that we appreciate each and every one of you being here, and may God bless you and keep you. Thank you. Was that the shortest speech I ever made?
It's, we obviously we're here to dedicate the building to my father, Robert Lowry Sr. So obviously that's a big part of what we have to do now. And we're going to pull that in a minute. There, gentlemen, but hang on a second. Inside the police building, we will place this plaque. It will always sit in the lobby of the police department, and it reads, "This building is dedicated in honor of Robert G. Lowry Sr., who has served the citizens of Florissant for 50 years as both police chief and mayor. This building stands as a reminder of his hard work, leadership, and dedication to the community and the Florissant Police Department, continuing commitment to the safety of the city of Florissant." Dedicated May 17th, 2014, for Thomas P. Schneider and the Florissant City Council. That will sit in the lobby of the police station.
And now we'll take the color stone.
Honor guard, retire color.
Carry. Colors. Out. Thanks.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, okay. Who's this guy here? Oh, you know who he is? Okay.
I don't know who he is.
Hey, buddy, how are you?
We need to wait for Joe.
Okay.
Yeah. We should all go on. Let's go on. Let's go down. Everybody go down a couple steps. Here, I'll stand over.
Thank you for joining us on this very special edition of FPD Roll Call. As you can see, we had a very busy day of events between the open house and the building dedication. Thank you for everybody who put time to make this day a great success, and for all of our citizens who came out to celebrate the Florissant Police Department and to honor police officers during Police Week 2014. Thank you. I'm Officer Andy Harmon, and we'll see you next time.